Hey everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter. Thanks for stopping by today. Today I am sharing how to make your very own custom foiled planner stickers. And I want to start out by saying I'm really sorry that this is such a long video, but I have so much I want to show you. I'm going to walk you through not only how I create the files in Silhouette Studio, but also how to do the foiling, how to print them, how to cut them, and some of the supplies that I use as well. I couldn't do this video without at least giving you a little sneak peek into my planner here. This is my monthly view, and I use these little kind of banner flag shaped foiled stickers to kind of note that I have something going on that day. I don't use a lot of detail in that layout. And these are my weekly spreads, and I use these long kind of rectangular stickers for appointments here. You can see I have one for work and for Elliot's appointment at the orthodontist and a couple of my appointments as well. So you can see I have these little custom foiled elements, and I'm going to show you exactly how to make these today. Now, the inserts I use are from So Much Crafting. I really like these. This is a personal size planner, and I do have a Louis Vuitton agenda cover, but I also really love the Filofax one, and I will link that in the supply list as well, so be sure to check that out. Now, I've made a bunch of custom foiled planner stickers for my planner. I just kind of wanted to flip you through it really quickly here. I don't want to go into a lot of detail. And I do keep these in the back of my planner so that I can kind of grab them when I'm on the go and add appointments to my planner whenever I may need them. Now, I've made more than just these little rectangle with the heart icons. I've also made like some custom baseball stickers and bow stickers. I love these bow box stickers that I created for kind of some special events. And I've also created some little heart checkbox stickers, so I can use these for a to-do list, and the little hearts make up the check boxes. I just thought they were fun, and things like this just kind of really make me happy. So I took not an entire day, I took a couple hours out of one day, and I did a bunch of printing and cutting for my own planner stickers. Once I have these designed in my Silhouette Studio, it's really easy to recreate these. And I did want to mention that I am using both an inkjet printer and a laser printer for this project. The inkjet printer is to print all of the colored portions that you see of these stickers, so the pink and the blue and the green. The laser printer is used for the foiling. It's really important if you want to do foiling that you use a laser printer for those foiled elements, because the toner of the laser printer is what reacts with the foil and causes it to stick to the paper. So that's really important. And I have linked all of the supplies I've used in these projects in the description below at YouTube, as well as over at my blog, so that you can see exactly what printers I'm using, what label paper, and that sort of thing. Now, if you only want the foiling on the white label paper, you only need a laser printer for this project. So I did want to walk you through all of the supplies that I'll be using. This is the label paper that I use. This is very important because this is made for both inkjet printer and laser printers. So I needed something that was compatible with both because the laser printer will put out a bit of heat. If your label paper is not compatible with a laser printer, it could warp it and cause the adhesive to be ruined. Now, this is a removable label paper. This is what it looks like. It's just kind of like an address label, but it's a full sheet. There's nothing cut out of it, so it's 8.5 by 11. And the backer on this label paper is scored, and you can just pull that off to reveal the adhesive. Now, for my foils today, I'm using the ThermoWeb iCraft Deco Foil. It is my favorite. It comes in these tubes, but I like to store it in these project sleeves here. I just find it's a better way to store it. I'm going to be using this champagne color for all of my foiling today, but I did want to show you that this is available in a wide variety of colors and finishes. There's rainbow foils, there's silver and gold and rose gold. The champagne just happens to be my favorite, so that's what I use on all of my planner stickers. Now, like I said, it's a lot easier to store these flat in these kind of oversized page protectors, and I'll be sure to link those as well. And I kind of just keep these all in a drawer. But I did want to show you some of the more popular colors. So on moving from right to left, I have the champagne color. I have rose gold, silver, and the gold. You can see that the traditional gold is a lot more orangey, yellow, bright compared to the champagne that I'm using. And I'm trying to kind of flip these up in the light a little bit so you can see how they shine. They are absolutely beautiful, and I get great results with these. Now, Heidi Swapp also makes some transfer foils, so you can use those. I just prefer the deco foil. It's a little bit easier for me to work with. Now, for the foiling, I'm going to be using a Mink machine as well as a laminator today. You can use either one. This is the full-size Mink machine, and I also have the mini Mink machine. Now, if you don't want to invest in the full size, the mini might be a great option for you. But the mini only has an area that is 6 inches wide that you can feed through. So in order to foil a full-size letter sheet, you would need to cut it down first in order to send it through the machine. What the Mink does is it creates heat and causes that toner to react with the transfer foil. This larger size Mink has a 12-inch wide area, so I can send an entire piece of letter size label paper through this at one time, so I don't have to cut it down before I send it through my Mink. And I'm going to be using this today to show you, but you can also use a laminator. I find that the Mink machine offers me a lot more heat settings, and you can laminate with it as well. The laminator that I'm going to be using today is the Royal Sovereign laminator, and it has 2 settings, the 5 and the 3 mil. It actually has a cold setting as well, but you want to use the 5 mil setting. And with a laminator, because it does not heat up as quickly as the Mink, you're going to want to let it heat up for a long time. To cut my stickers today, I'm going to be using the Silhouette Cameo. I have the original machine. There are updated machines available, and I will link those in the supply list for you. But this is a digital or electronic die cutting machine. I use this for a lot of different projects. The blades are removable and replaceable, and you can adjust the depth of the blade, which we will be doing today to create a kiss cut on our labels. But I just wanted to show you all of the things that I'm going to be using to create these. I happen to have these because I'm a crafter, but if you want to start making your own stickers, these might be some tools that you might want to look into. So here I am in my Silhouette Studio software, and I just wanted to show you that I am using the basic edition of Silhouette Studio. I'm not using any upgraded versions for this. So there may be some features in some of the upgraded ones that could make this process a little bit maybe easier and more streamlined, but I wanted to show you that you can absolutely do this in the basic edition. The Silhouette Studio release that I'm using is 4.1.201 SS. This is the most current version at the time of filming of this video. So I just wanted to show you that you can do a lot of things with the Silhouette Studio software, even with the basic edition. So you can see I have my page laid out here. If you want to change your page setting, you would go to this panel here. And you can see I have a page size, a letter page size. That is because the label paper that I'm going to be using is letter size. Now, if you wanted to change that to something else, you can definitely click that drop down, change your paper size if you have a different paper size. The cutting mat that I'm going to be using is for the Cameo, and it is a 12 by 12 mat. But if you needed to change your cutting mat size for your machine, you can click the drop down there once again and find a bunch of different sizes. But I use the 12 by 12 here. Now, because I am going to be creating a print and cut, I'm going to go over to this menu here. This is the registration marks little area here where you can turn registration marks on and off. Registration marks are used for print and cut files for the Silhouette, Cameo, or Portrait, or anything like that. I want to turn these on because I want it to be able to register where to cut the images. So you can see when I turn that on, it gives me these marks here. Now, the Silhouette, when I go to cut this out, the Cameo is going to look for these marks so that it will know precisely where to cut out the pieces that I'm making. So now that I have my paper set up and ready to go with the registration marks, I can start building my sticker, and my sticker is going to be sized to perfectly fit on the inserts. Now, the cool thing about making your own planner stickers is that you can make them any size for whatever you need. You can customize them with text or with certain icons, and you can add foil or not add foil. And I have created a video prior to this on just creating your own planner stickers. And today I'm going to focus on adding foil to those as well. So the inserts that I'm currently using are So Much Crafting inserts, and they are a week on 2 pages insert, and the boxes, the entire box for each day measures 1.5 inches wide by 2 5/8 inches tall. And so I know that when I go to make my sticker, I want to make it fit the width of that. So I'm going to pick up my rectangle tool here. I'm just going to draw a rectangle. And I am going to select that using my arrow tool. And I'm going to go up to this box here, and you can see it's going to tell me how wide my rectangle is currently. Now, I want to make that 1.5 inches wide because that will fit my daily box that I'm using. And I'm just going to hit the tab key, or you could click over to this height. And I found that the good height for my stickers that I use is 0.35 inches. So you're going to see this size down to this little rectangle. I use this rectangle to mark appointments and events that I have going on during my day, and I color code these according to what kind of event it is for myself. It just helps me see things better when I see them in color. So I have different colors for different types of events, whether it's my own personal event or if it's one of my children's events or if it's a work event. So this is the basic shape of the sticker that I use. So now that I have my basic sticker shape, I like to have like a foiled little icon here to just kind of give it a little pizzazz. It's just something that I like to do. And I'm going to show you how to add those icons in there that will be foiled, either using a cut file from your Silhouette Studio or using a downloaded clipart. So I'm going to go to my library here, and I've already typed in the word heart to search for all the hearts that I have. And I'm going to go ahead and open this heart here. Now you can see that all of my lines are red. When I go to cut these files, anything that I have in red is going to be what I'm going to choose to cut, and anything in another color I am not going to cut. So I always this is going to cut out the shape of my sticker, but anything that's not going to be cut, that's just going to be a printed element or a foiled element on top of my sticker, I change the line color of those so that I can choose not to cut that. If I were to downsize this and place it here, it would cut not only my rectangle, but my heart as well. So while I have this selected here, this shape, I am going to go ahead and go over to this line option or line style box here, or toolkit, whatever you want to call it. And you can see you can change the line style, or you can go over here to change the color. Now, usually when I'm creating a print and cut file, I will choose everything red that I'm going to cut, and anything that's not going to cut, I will choose either white or black for the line color. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to white. Now you can see it kind of disappeared because my paper is white, but that's okay because I am going to fill this with some color. So I'm going to go to the fill panel here, which is just above that line style toolbox, and I'm going to select that. And I'm just going to select to fill that with black. So you can see I have this shape here, and it's got that black fill all in it. When I print that out, this will print filled in with black. So now I can just grab this and resize it to where it's going to fit within my sticker shape that I have up here. And I'm just going to zoom you in a little bit here so that you can see I'm going to just make this where it fits within there. Now, this is not the exact cut file that I used for my hearts on my finished project. And honestly, I cannot remember what it was, but it was this one right here because I copied it over. So I'm just going to move this up. This is the exact size that I used on the finished project. You can see it's a little bit different. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that, but I created it using the same method. Now that cut file that I chose was kind of a double cut. So it would cut around this edge and it would cut around the inner edge, and that made it easy to fill. But if you had a single line image like this one here, I'm going to open it up. So this is a single cut line image, and if I'm going to fill it, it is going to fill the entire thing, and I would have a solid printed and in the end a solid foiled image. But if you want to create an outline shape like this one, all you have to do is create another one and kind of stack them on top of each other. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo my fill, and I'm going to go to this offset menu here, and I'm going to click the offset. You can see it made another heart on the outside. So if you want to increase the width between those two shapes, you can do that here with this distance tool. You can see I was just clicking the up arrow here. You can decrease it to make it a little thinner, but it's whatever you prefer, how thick you want this printed line to be. This is going to be this outline here. Now, I want to create a compound shape out of this, and it's different than grouping because a compound path or a compound shape is going to cut this as a single image. It's going to see it all. So I think this will make more sense. I'm going to select both of these hearts here by holding down the Shift key, and I'm going to right click and select Make a Compound Path. So when I fill this now, it's going to fill between there. Now, I want to show you what will happen if you group these because it's a little bit different. So if I go and I have both of them selected here and I hit Group, right click, Group, and then I hit Fill, it's going to fill both of those images with the black. So by selecting it as or creating a compound path out of it, it sees this as the image here between the part between the cut lines. So it does do something a little bit different. I am going to ungroup that. I'm going to fill them with white. I'm going to create a compound path again by right clicking and selecting Make Compound Path, and then I can fill it with the black. And that is going to create an outline shape. And you can do this with any shape, circles, squares, any cut files that you have that are single line that you want to create an outline image for, you can do the same process. Now remember, these lines are still red and I don't want them to cut in my finished project. I want them to just print. So I'm going to go over to my line menu here and I am going to change the line color to white. And that way, when I select my lines to cut, it will not cut these because I'm only going to cut the red images. So that's a way that you can create your own little outline shape here. And like I said, by adjusting the offset, you can choose how wide you want this. I've created my little icon here using a standard cut file from the Silhouette Studio store, but now I'm going to show you how to do this with a purchase clip art file. And I don't want to erase the sticker that I already have here. So I'm just going to select this rectangle here and I am going to replicate it below. So you're just going to hit this replicate panel. It's kind of funky looking, the little icon for it, but I'm just going to replicate that below. And I'm going to move it down by clicking my down arrow there, just so that you can see the separation between the two stickers that I'm creating. So this one is one that I use for work, for appointments, and I like to use some specialty icons for particular appointments. If I have a beauty appointment, I tend to use an eyelash little icon. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I am going to open my eyelash file. I have it saved on my desktop to make it a little bit easier. And it's a PNG file. So this is open this in a new file, and Silhouette Studio is not seeing this as a cut file. It's just an image that's on this file here. So I am just going to hit Command C. If you're on a PC, it would be Control C. And I'm going to go back over to this file that I was working on, and then I'm going to click into the document, just clicking here. And then I'm going to hit Command V or Control V if you're on a PC. And then I can downsize these to the proper size for my sticker. And I'm just going to drag that corner to downsize them here. So you just drag from the corner. If you do it from the corner, that's going to maintain the ratio of the little image here. If I were to grab from the center, you can see it's going to stretch it out or make it narrower. So if you wanted to play with the ratio of your image, you could definitely do that. I'm going to hit Command Z or Control Z if you're on a PC to undo that. And I'm just going to leave those there. So now you can see I have my rectangle images, one with a heart that's going to print and one with eyelashes that are going to print. When I go to cut these, it's only going to cut the portion that is in or outlined in red. Now I want to make these one piece so that when I move these around, I can move them around together. If I move this rectangle right now, you can see it's just moving the rectangle. But I want the eyelashes attached to that so that it's all one piece. And then when I move it or I copy it, it's going to copy all of that. So I'm going to hit Command Z to undo the move of my rectangle. And I'm going to select both of these pieces here so that I can move them and copy them as one. Now you can do this two ways. You can either click down and just drag across and it's going to select both of those. Or I can click on the rectangle and hold down my Shift key and then click on my eyelashes and you can see once again, both of those are selected. Now, before I do that, if I want to align these to where the eyelashes are exactly in the center depth-wise or height-wise, as this rectangle, I can go ahead and go to this align feature here. And I'm going to select this one here where all those shapes are going to line up along that horizontal center of these two shapes. So it's all lined up there. The eyelashes are in the center of this rectangle. Once again, I'm going to select them both and I'm going to hit Command G. Now your other option would be to right click and select group. Now because I've already grouped them, that's grayed out where I can't do it. But I kind of like the hotkey version. I just find that it saves me a little bit of time. So now when I move these around, they are one. And when I select them, they are one. And I can then copy them as one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and replicate this and create these files with all of these. Now, I happen to have all of these done already. So what I've done is I've replicated these and created full sheets of these stickers. So I'm going to show you those here. I'm going to open my planner stickers for 2018 with my lashes. And you can see I have a ton of these on this 8.5 by 11 piece of paper here. Now, when I go to print and cut these, I'm going to use a removable label sticker paper to create these and make these stickers. So I have them all kind of laid out for that 8.5 by 11. Now, these stickers here are what I use on my daily portion of my planner. These stickers here are what I use on the monthly portion just to kind of flag out. I don't put any details, but I just say, hey, something's going on that day so that when I look at my month overview, I know that there's something planned. So I've created all of these by just replicating those files that I've just showed you how I've created. Now, this was done in very much the same way. It is a banner cut file, and I have just created a separate one that's filled in along the bottom so that this portion is going to be foiled on the finished project. So you can see anything that you're seeing in black here on this file is going to be foiled in my finished project. Now, if you want your planner stickers to be white with foiling, this is all you need to do. But I like to color code my planner stickers for different occasions. It just helps call out things to me and makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to show you how you're going to do that here. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and I am going to draw a rectangle around all of these cut shapes here. So I'm going to make sure that it extends beyond the cut shapes that I already have. And I like to kind of keep it out of the way of these registration marks, especially the corners. So you can see this one here, my rectangle is not going to overlap that. On the corner down here, this rectangle that I've drawn is not overlapping it. And on this corner up here, this rectangle is not overlapping that. I just find that the machine has an easier time registering it if this colored box that we're creating does not interfere with these boxes, these black boxes in any way. I've just found that with experience, if you want to try to do it, if the color's light enough, the machine may pick it up a little bit easier, but I've just found it's best to keep it kind of out of the way of the registration marks. So now that I have my rectangle drawn, I'm going to add some color to it. And I'm going to do that by just selecting it and clicking a fill color. So you can see when you open the fill menu, there's actually several colors available for you. You can enter in an RGB code or this code here for a specific number that you find on color websites on the web. So you have a lot of options here. For today, just to make it easy, I'm going to click one that's already available, and I'm going to adjust the transparency just to make it a little bit lighter so that when we print it out, it's not so dense with the ink. So I can just do it and I can adjust it to any kind of color that I want. Now, if I wanted to make them green, I would just do that. But I'm going to show you pink for today. Now, I want these to actually be separate files because I'm going to actually print them separately. The colored portion of my sticker needs to be printed on an inkjet printer. And anything that's black that I'm going to foil needs to be printed on a laser printer. That's just the nature of transfer foil. It's the way it has to be done, and this is the way that I do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that rectangle right where it's at. I have my lashes all saved as a file already. So what I'm going to do in order to create separate files, I already have my lashes saved in a separate file, is that I am going to delete the lashes off of this file. Don't worry, I have the lashes saved, and I am going to move this to the back, this colored image. So I want it behind my lashes so that I can select those and delete them. So I have my large colored rectangle selected, and I'm going to send it to the back so that the lashes are now all in front. Okay. Now I'm going to take these squares where I have these groups of stickers created, and I'm going to delete them so that the thing that I'm left with is actually just the pink colored rectangle. Now I am going to print this first, and then I am going to print the portion that has the lashes and the registration marks. So I am going to go ahead and go to my page setup and turn off the registration marks. So I'm going to turn them off. And then I'm going to save this as to my hard drive. So you can hit Shift-Command-S to save this to your hard drive. And I'm just going to make this, instead of the lashes, I'm going to make it my pink background. So I'm just going to type that in. I have a file folder on my computer where I save all of these. I save them in my documents, and it's planner files, I believe is what yep. So I'm just going to save that 2018 planner stickers, pink background, and I'm going to just save it in this planner files folder that I have on my laptop. So I'm going to save that there. Now, if I go and open my lash stickers, they're still going to be maintained because I haven't actually changed that file. So now I have two files. I have the actual cut file with the black portions that are going to be foiled, and I have the file that I'm going to print on the inkjet printer to add the color to these. So now that I have everything created, the process is exactly the same for the hearts. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print these separately. So I'm going to start by printing my colored portion because I want the laser toner to be printed on top of this pink portion. I don't want the inkjet ink to print over top of the laser because I don't want it to interfere with the foiling. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to print this. I'm going to go to File, Print. You could actually go up to this printer icon here and do that as well. And I'm going to print it to my Canon because that is my inkjet printer. So anything for color is going to be printed on your inkjet, and anything for foiling is going to be printed on your laser. So I'm going to put my label paper into my Canon, and I'm going to go ahead and print that. Now, once I have that printed, I'm going to take that same piece of label paper that has the pink rectangle printed on it, and I am going to click over to my lash portion here, which actually has the cut portion and the foiling portion. I'm going to stick that piece of label paper into my laser printer, and then I'm going to print this portion on my laser printer. So I use this one here, and I am just going to print that out. Now here's a look at what this looks like when I've printed both the inkjet portion with the pink and the black portion with the laser printer. You can see I have my registration marks and my lashes and all of those black portions that were printed by my laser printer. And that laser printer toner is what's going to react with the foil and cause it to bond. And then I have that big pink rectangle behind it, which is adding color to my stickers. That portion was printed by my inkjet printer. The inkjet printer ink will not react with the foil, so the foil will not stick to any of those areas that were pink. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to send this to our Cameo to cut out. So I'm going to go up here to the upper right hand corner and I'm going to click send. My Cameo is showing as not currently connected because I don't have it plugged in via USB, but you want to make sure that your Cameo is connected via USB cable to the computer that you're using. Now you can see I have all of the red areas are coming up really bold. That's showing me what's actually going to cut on these files. If I zoom in, you're going to see that this part that I created with a cut file that is supposed to be foiled, this portion should not be cutting. That's because it's selecting all of the lines right now and it's selecting all of those to cut. I'm going to remedy that by going up to, see this action by simple. The simple is going to choose all of the lines that were created with a cut file to cut. I don't want it to do that. Remember how we changed the colors of the lines of some of those? I have black lines and I have red lines. I am going to uncheck the black line, and you can see now that it's only going to cut anything that I created with a red line. Now I am going to send this to my Cameo, and I am going to actually select my blade at 1 because I want to create a kiss cut. A kiss cut is going to cut through the top layer of the label paper, but it's going to leave the backer intact so that I can have these sticker sheets and that it doesn't cut all the way through the backer. I just want to kiss cut that, and I want to cut the top sticky portion of my paper, but not the backer. So I'm going to go ahead and send that to my Cameo, and I'll meet you back at my crafting table. So I've just placed my label sheet, my printed label sheet onto my cutting mat. I'm making sure that my blade here is set to 1 because I just want to do a kiss cut on this. And I've loaded my mat into my Cameo machine, and I'm going to use my computer to go ahead and tell it to cut. And it's going to register first, and then it's going to start cutting. Now, what I did want to mention is that once you print these, you do not want to make any changes to those files that you've created in Silhouette Studio because that will cause the cut lines to be off. So once you've printed these, it's time to cut. Don't move anything on your file. So once those are done cutting, you can see I have that beautiful kiss cut. It's cut through the top of the label paper, but not through the backer. And then I can just foil these and cut them down and carry them around in my planner. And I just love that I get great results with my Silhouette Cameo, and I have all of the flexibility of designing things online. So it's time to foil. I'm going to turn on my Mink machine on the back, and then I'm going to use the gold button to set it to the 4 heat setting. Now, depending on the thickness of materials that you use when you're foiling, you can adjust the heat settings on the Mink, but this will add both the heat and the pressure needed to transfer the foil. Now, the original size Mink machine comes with a 12 by 12 folder that you need to place your items into in order to foil. I've gone ahead and cut mine down just for ease of use, and you can see I have my printed sticker sheet here. I'm going to slide that into my folder, and then I'm going to take my foil with the pretty side up. So it has that dull silver side, that is the back side. That back side needs to face the toner that I've printed onto my paper. So you can see I'm just adding the foil to where it covers all of my toner printed areas. I can trim this down to make it the size that I need. Once I have the foil covering all of my laser printed area, I'm going to go ahead and close this folder and then send it right through my Mink machine. Now I can either send it through kind of horizontally here or long ways here. It just takes less time for it to go through the machine if I send it through horizontally. So that's what I'm going to do today because, you know, time is precious. Now you can do this foiling while other sheets of stickers are printing or cutting. That's often what I do. Once it comes out of the Mink, I'm going to just let it cool off and I'm going to give it a good rub. And then I'm going to pull off the foil to reveal my perfectly foiled laser printed images beneath. And I'm left with my very own custom planner stickers. These have the eyelashes on it, and I have the little portion that I can use on the monthly and the daily versions. I love creating my own planner stickers because I can make them anything that I want, and I just love having the bits of foil throughout my planner. Now you can keep these sticker sheets as they are, but I like to trim them down so they're a little easier to carry around with me. So I just use a paper trimmer to do that. And then I'm all ready to go. Now I wanted to show you that you can also achieve the same results with a regular laminator. I am going to sandwich my sticker sheet between two pieces of just regular computer printer paper, just some thin printer paper. I am going to add my foil on top just as before with the pretty side up, and then I'm going to add a second piece of printer paper on the top. So all of that creates my folder like I had with my Mink machine. Then I'm going to take this sandwich of my sticker sheet and my foil and my two pieces of printer paper, and I'm going to send it through a well-heated laminator. Once it's come through the laminator, I can go ahead and remove those outer sheets and then take off my foil. And you can see that I get beautiful foiled results with both the Mink machine and the laminator that I'm using. I think the most important thing to remember with the laminator is it takes a long time to get it fully heated, and it's important to have all of that heat. Now here's a version where I've just gone ahead and printed my images with a laser printer onto the plain white label paper, and these are the little heart check boxes that I created. And I've cut those with the Cameo as well. And you can see I am left with beautiful foiled heart check boxes to use in my planner. These are so much fun to make, and like I said, I think the best part is that you can really make them perfect for whatever you need them for, and you can customize them with different icons. As always, thanks for stopping by today. I really appreciate you sticking around for this whole super long video, but there was so much I wanted to share with you. I will have links to the featured supplies used in this project in the description at YouTube, but head on over to my blog because I'll have more still shots, more information, and a complete list of supplies with multiple places to purchase from over there. And I'll have that blog post linked in the description at YouTube. Thanks for stopping by today. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my paper crafting video tutorials. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. And until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.